Yo, pero pues, llaman lo aja watu wake kuliboro kere. Aja watu mane kana na kuliboro kere. Ai, sini do. Kina vai. O gate lo kolo. O kubera o gate lo meni gate. Never gate le kan. Gate la lo never la. Dia. Aja wala ko mare. Aja watu. Railo gate, osimolo gate. Osimolo gate. O gate. Yeah. Stop drinking, man. Just go a bit of fun,
Just get swift guys.
Yeah, I was watching drivers can in the rest. Yeah. I support the kids. Somebody who is aging, give opportunity. Yes.
Viewers, we are live from the Yes Center, the Sporters Volleyball NSAMBYA grounds. And we have a match right there that has just started, KAVC versus UCU. KAVC, they played yesterday and they got their first win from Police, where they collected all maximum points, 3 points, and they won on 3-1. We see today from the lineup of KVC, there's been a change. Matthew, who was starting yesterday, he started on the bench today. And Endra, jersey number 4, right there in red, has started in place of Matthew Mwenyi. But we see KVC keeping Smith on in that position where we know that always it's Onapa who starts there. And Ellie gets an ace there. For the UCU side, running through the middle is Ian and Akampa and Ellie right there. And on the outside, the left side, we have Mark Omara there and Opus there. And then on the opposite, we have Nixon, who we've seen UCU consistently giving that position. And on their setting department, we have none other than Hussein Odom. The score is 2-2, and Bernard will go to save again. And an easy pick there for Crispus. And Smith will go outside on court while trying to go for that diagonal. So we're seeing a couple of unforced errors from both sides, with KVC having an error from Ayo on the service. And also at the same side, UCU in their 3 points have also had errors right there. Crispus will confirm right there, taking the ball to the right side to Smith, who we saw making his first error going out, and he's made another error going into the bend. However, that set had not really reached well, and that gives UCU an early lead of 4-2 there, even as Nixon goes back to the service ball. Endra goes for the dump and he gets it. The weather is cloudy, as if it's about to rain. So viewers, please note, you might not be seeing all angles of the play. You might only be seeing from the side where KVC is playing from right now, because we are just worried in case it starts to rain and the cameras will not be taken out on time. An easy brush there, and Crispus will beat himself to say, you know what, I should have done better on that one, even as Mark goes to save. The game has started a bit on the low side for both teams. I think these two teams, normally when they go against each other, it's normally a fun, entertaining game. But I'm just here to see who's going to get that first morale in terms of the team play, and an overpass there, even as KVC levels up that score there. Endra on the service box. So UCU right now, they've maintained in most of their previous games, if not all of their previous games, they've maintained that lineup, which has really won quite a number of games for them. And Odome tries to dump that one, however, it's not high enough, and he lands it on the net. I think I've always said several times that setters at times they get these dumps rushed, or they just think in their heads that I'm going to dump without thinking about, is it the right time for me to dump? Another one there on the net as well. So a lot of unforced errors, even as UCU is trying to settle. So I am joined here by none other than Shamira. She's looking tired because she played a game, but I think she's going to manage. Welcome, Shamira.
Thank you, Coach. I think it's going to be an exciting game this evening. Of course, KVC having had a game yesterday,
and they won that game. So it gave them really a boost. And Shamira, I've been saying that honestly, UCU are starting with a lot of errors. From the 8 points they've scored, can you imagine? They've scored only 3. 5 have been errors, net
From
errors
UCU.
out from UCU. So they're really making it easy there for KVC. And Endra is really serving strategically. However, he sends that one out as he was looking for Opus there.
Yes, and of course, KVC is starting up with that lineup they had from the time they played against KCCA in the indoor. Of course, now Rukundo Smith starting ahead of Onapa.
Yes, he started as well yesterday.
Yes.
However, Onapa finished in that game, which I think is a good balance, because most of the times you don't want to give your high performing players that pressure. If you think the game is manageable and the player is managing, even as we saw Rukundo yesterday manage the beat pass the first parts of the game. So for me, it's about every player just having a role that they're going to come in and play in the team.
Yes, and big swing there from Opus, but it is well defended by Endra, and Smith can only send back a free ball.
And another free ball that has gone back to the side of KVC, but they've also taken back a free ball. Net touch right there by Crispus.
And of course, Opus taking advantage and playing that quick attack before Crispus could reach outside as well to get his hands on that ball. And Adome now serving.
He looks like he wants to pick on Ayo there. And yes, he does it. Yes, and he passes well. And Bernard will be blocked in the middle.
Oh, big swing from Innocent Ayo there. Down the line, good attack. And we saw him attacking the line so much yesterday as well.
That's his strength, actually. That's his strength. So if UCU keeps giving him that line, they might be in for just, they should expect a lot of swings from him. But I'd say KVC has started well. They've started stable. I'm not sure on the side of UCU if it's complacency or if they're still finding their rhythm right there.
Yes, and you see here on the chat, Bukarari says he's rooting for KVC. Yeah, thank you for watching as well. You see you now getting that side out once again. Opus going to serve, and they're having now Mark on the front court, and Mark is their number one outside hitter right now. So I think that could help them close the gap as well.
However, if they keep serving to the libero, KVC will keep having those side outs. If KVC also eliminates those errors, Ayo goes onto the net there. I think these are frustrating for the setters. Honestly, the set is okay. Just cross the ball over.
Yes, and I think even the block had quite watched him very well as well. See, they had sealed that, but the setter gives him a chance again and again. He is blocked, but that is a block out from Mark. But that's what I am talking about. You've mentioned he wants to go to the line, and Mark is just there waiting for him, and he brings him down. But unfortunately, that goes out.
Yeah, you want attackers to open properly so that they are able to choose to say, where is this ball forcing me to go? Ayo gets his save in, and the ball will go to Nixon right there, who's picked, and that might have been out, and an error from Ogusul in defense right there, giving a freebie for KVC that they'll gladly take on as they get that.
And you see attacks. We see they are touching the belt so much. The attackers are not yet comfortable to spike on the court. And then KVC is taking advantage of that. They are having a good start, a good run. But there goes a service error from Ayo. And he is one of those best servers for KVC. But if he's making that service error, I think he must feel terrible with himself as well.
Early on the save for UCU, even as they trail by 2 points. And he saves the libero, and the libero says out ball, and they'll leave it. So yeah, really, UCU have to get their heads up as well. Both teams actually, they've gone on the swings that are on the belt. They've gone on services that are outside, and it's only the beginning stages of this game. So they really do need to find themselves. They really do need to think about what they want to do. And Mark goes to his favorite position there if the middle doesn't come, and that's the diagonal. And an attempt by Ayo is not successful to defend that ball.
Nixon to serve. Of course, now Adome being on the front court as well. It's a good serve going after Ayo, and it's an ace serve from Nixon. And I think the strategy for UCU is just to go after Ayo in the passing. Yeah, they are not going to Endra, they are not going to the libero, they are just going after Ayo. And I think that's to take him out of the back court and also to put that pressure on him on attack in the front court.
Which might work because if they play very well, if the setter can't see Endra well, Endra needs a quick set, so he might not be able to set. However, Endra managed to get a side out from that one, even as Crispus put a bit of speed on it.
And now Smith is going in for the service.
I think Smith has started a bit on a low today compared to yesterday. I'm not sure if it could be the opponent who seems a bit bigger for him. And he has definitely, like I said, gotten that service out. He hasn't gotten any side out. He's been blocked. He's gone on the net in terms of the attack. So that's something that Kavc might want to watch there to say, is it really worth it having him still on court when Onapa is outside? Mark O'Mara takes to the service box for UCU and straight to the libero, and a block there. The setter had no option to set that ball anywhere else, and the attacker there, Crispus, also could not turn or go to any other side. That's how he found himself being blocked, and were level 14 up.
Again, O'Mara now going to the libero. Little tight. Endra comes in very hard, but he is he's able to go through actually. That's a block error there from UCU. Of course, now Ayo coming back to the front court as well to get that pressure, and having Hussein blocking him. That's a big advantage. But there goes another service error. I think those are four consecutive service errors from Kavc.
Yeah. None of them has saved from the time Ayo went to that service box. None has saved, and surely it makes sense why one level now, even as UCU has been consistent now on the serve.
Look at that service coming in from Ian. Very big serve. Good block from Eli. Hussein again trying to make that swing and make a very high block there, and that's an error from Ayo as well.
A center line violation by Ayo. I think the sets are a bit low, but they're also a bit too tight on the net, and we see UCU taking the first lead without much effort, we can say. I think I've only seen Mark going big on one swing. I've seen Ellie going big, but the rest of them, they've just gotten the points from
the errors.
Errors.
And now Kavc is going back to how UCU also started this game, back to errors, and they need to side out. And I think Ayo needs to know that he's the one going to give his team this game. He needs to psych up and play on that attack.
Yes, he is a strong player. He is a strong player, Shamira. So therefore, I would agree to say if a setter has him in front court and has Christopher and the setter also being in front, there's not really their backcourt one, their pipe there, you would not expect them to be as strong as what he could offer the team. So, but I think he might know that. He just should be able to take the pressure.
Yes, and now again trying to go to the line there, but the setter is there, well set on that block ball. Quick set. Opus can only dump that one. Setter tries to go to the backcourt, and then Dra just goes through the hands there and gets that point. I think Opus was a little unready for that, and he's caught off guard.
That's a good option right there. I mean, you've tried him several times and it has failed. But also it was thanks to Smith who really picked those dumps there. So we see how UCU is going to side out. But with Eli on front court, I think if the pass is good, he will send it to Eli. But let's see how Odome chooses to side out on that one.
Yes, but there goes another service error from the Kavc side, and that's from Christopher's this time. I think
so. It means 5 people haven't served right now. The whole rotation, almost the full rotation.
Yeah, they've not served well for Kavc, and that is giving UCU very easy points right now. Big serve Oh, big swing from Ellie on that overpass. And you can see why they are going after Endra. They are putting that pressure on him, on the passing. And then I think that is disturbing him a little bit on the attack as well. Because now he has to concentrate and play on that
So
pass.
Ayo is off the service right now. Two receiver attackers. That's really being strong right there. And that change has forced him to go out. But if you are receiving, you should be able to notice that there are two savers. The court is open wide. Zone
Yeah.
1 was specifically left with nobody. But it has worked out for KVC. And they're trailing by 1 point right now. And Ogusu also looks like he's challenging the saver there, who we expect to put the save on, and he does.
Oh, big play there from Ayo. Yes, he knows the setter is on the backcourt and just sends that block back. And now we are back level. KVC has managed to catch up, to somewhat catch up. Yeah.
I think one thing to note, Shamira, is that KVC have mentored Mark in terms of play. So that's why you see they're picking on him in terms of the pass. They know they also really need to get him off. And Ellie makes a rare mistake right there. Mark had delivered in terms of the pass.
And of course, the setter going back to serve.
They're back on the lead.
It's a good serve there from Fishbash, but Mark fixed it well. Of course, Hussein goes to Ellie because you can see Mark had gone a little bit out and couldn't be able to come back and take a swing. So he goes to Ellie, and Ellie is able to give him that point.
Yeah, we've seen Ellie, he's one hard and strong attacker, but he picks a zone, and he normally picks his zones well for a middle attacker right there. And the libero passes that one easily. Will it go to Ayo? Yes, and Ayo does a big swing that is picked. The Mark is off position and chooses a dump.
Yo goes with the swing there. Again, Hussein goes to Ellie, and the libero unfortunately just touches that ball, and it's going out. But I think it's just literally on his head. There's nothing he could do.
It's an advantage for players to just take a swing. No?
Very crucial moments for both sides, and UCU has now called their timeout to see how to sort that out. But good on KVC to make that comeback to try and catch up. Now they are ahead in a very crucial moment. They have the serve, and they're bringing that service pressure as well.
Yeah, it's good for me to see them, especially at this stage, having to come and lead that set, because I normally always don't. The coaching, we suffered from that taking the lead when it comes to the 20s, but I think it's shaping up right now. You can see the peaks that they've hit. They've managed to transition, and meanwhile UCU does have all their three attackers on front court. Not only all their three attackers, but also we have Opus, who's also able to take that backcourt attack. So it's up to Odome to choose how he wants to side out. He goes to Nixon, and Nixon is shut down by Bernard. They had 2 blocks in a row.
Yeah, very good play from Bernard. I think Bernard, his game has really improved since the early games of KVC.
Yep.
Yes. I think from the time KVC played against KCCA, that game, his game has really improved. He's doing so much better. He's getting those blocks in and attacking as well.
He is adjusting to that middle position, and Nixon goes out.
He gets a block touch there from Endra. Yes, and you see now back again to fight, to have a fighting chance as well. And they're having a good server going in early.
And good blockers as well on the
Yes.
front court. If you saw Ian, Nixon, Mark, they've got a good front row.
Yes, and that's a good pick from the libero. Bernard comes in hard, but he is blocked. Endra, again, the block is there. Endra, with his experience, he knows that space is there, and he gets that point.
Kind of feels like Odome thought Endra was not in a comfortable position to take a swing there and overlook the fact that he's an experienced player. He will look for that court, and KVC maintaining their 2 point there.
Substitution coming in for KVC. I think that is a service strategy. Good serve. Big swing from Nixon to get that point.
Shamira, I didn't say it out loud, but I didn't agree with that. Yesterday during the game, Bernard was one of their best savers. Yeah. And Matthew was one of their weak savers because he started yesterday. So I honestly thought they were looking for defense. But if you're looking for defense and you've got that good quality front court at UCU and you just have someone crossing it over, then you have defeated the purpose of why you're coming in. But another poor pass there, and he manages to pass it well, and Smith scores. I think that was clever from Chris for choosing to set the opposite, because clearly the blockers were not ready, and Smith gets his first swing.
And that is a set point. KVC now going to bring in the double substitution, and Onapa coming on court for the first time. We want to see if he's going to bring in his big swings, especially coming in from the bench, to see what he can do from the outside.
Yeah, I'm not forgetting that yesterday he came from the bench and he really delivered very well there. And right now, UCU are the ones who have just, if the pass is not good, they've got a few options in front court there, and they'll serve to Ogosul, and Omara goes to line. That's not his strength normally, and set over. KVC leads 1-0. What do you take of the UCU and the way they've applied themselves on this set?
I think they seem a little bit complacent, and they don't seem to be in this game yet, because they're making so many errors, and we're not even hearing them. There's that noise that they usually make, and we don't see them doing that right now. So they seem to be quite down on the morale as well as the play, because most of the points also came from the errors of KVC. So UCU needs to work on the errors they are also making as well, and also see how to get the attackers going.
Yeah, normally these two teams, when they meet, it tends to feel like UCU is a bit of a younger brother to KVC. I don't know if it's too much respect that they have for them, and then they go with that kind of caution. But also at the same time, KVC is able to exploit that. However, if UCU can switch that morale, we could see a change of things on this game. But KVC has managed to get their act right. Crispus is having a fair share of distribution. He's even set for that middle. Bernard, of which something that we've seen other setters not really trusting these young boys, but he's managed to do that, and it has really paid off. We are back on UCU trailing. No change there. Nixon on the opposite there. Odome on setting. Opus and Mark Omara on the right side. Ellie and Ian. Ian hardly ever plays as quiet as he is. No change as well there from KAVC. Even as the set is about to start right away.
Yes, of course, Smith again starting and Onapa starting out as well. But I think UCU needs to really sort themselves out because they're not having a great season so far. KVC as well, but this win, if KVC could win against UCU, it's going to be a big addition for them, especially having gotten 3 points already from yesterday. And UCU, if they drop points here, that's going to drop them from the top 4.
I think for me, I said it even as the season started that I would love to see our season, our big swing there coming from early. But I said I would love to see our league not being in the obvious state. So this is what I was talking about. That KVC that has lost all their games, then they come to UCU, who in their minds are thinking KVC has lost to almost everyone, and they get beaten. That way, we don't have clear cut to say who's going to make it on the top 4. Nemo has lost to UCU. So it says a lot, really.
Yes, and good touch there from Hussein to keep that ball alive. Mark comes in very hard, big swing, but that ball is just slightly out. I think Mark is also struggling a lot these days. Yes, because he's that attacker. He's almost like how we just saw previously in Elion Opoya. He's the only one that they are looking at to give them those points from the outside.
Yeah,
and Opus is not quite delivering as well as Nixon. So.
Yeah, for me, I really think right now UCU on their right side, they are easy to read, they are easy to block. Nixon is not as we've seen. We know KVC when it comes to the West. Onapa is there and he will drill balls. We've got the young man who's recovering, Silva. We've got Carlos. So all those right side attackers, they'll go in with big swings. But Nixon's swings, they're just once in a while. So they have to rely on their middle and their outside, which takes the game back to Omara.
Yes, and that's a beautiful play from Eli. He moves and quick swing to position 1. A beautiful play from him. I think, of course, even the setter today is really connecting with his middles, the setter for UCU, so he's going to use them so much. But did that ball cross? No, and that is 4 touches on the side of KVC, and that point goes to UCU.
So those sets, if you look at them well, Shamira, they are not getting, the set is not getting to a position where Smith can be comfortable. So he needs to see and read that and just try and get it over.
Yes, and Ellie now out of the service. Innocent. Bernard, good service from him. Beautiful serve, actually. Mark has to send over a free ball. Stymendra comes in very hard. Block touch, ball is kept alive. Oh, it's an overpass there from Ogusul, and the blockers are just there waiting for it. And
something interesting that I'm thinking about here. So while Ogusu was passing that ball, I saw as if he didn't prepare very well. He didn't go down. And in my head, I was like, complacency. Like he's taking the opponent for granted the way he picked that ball. And it turned out to be an overpass. So you do get that as well from players. Bernard puts it on.
And I think Ogusul is a player who usually has that sort of play. He's just that's him in all games. He plays in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big swings from the middles of UCU there. I think they are what the setter has today. It looks like it because both the right side and the left side have been shaky, especially if the pass doesn't come well. And Ra managing to bet that one off the court as well and gives UCU a lead.
But it's a beautiful serve from Nixon. You can see it's a good float serve.
All right, so the rain flights at NSAMBYA Sports Volleyball Grounds have gone. So Now we have all the cameras set, so you'll be able to see volleyball from all angles. And that ball is sent out again by Indra, and that ball is out.
Yes, it is clearly very much outside. Nixon having a good service run here. I think it's the first time we are seeing consistency in the service
Yes.
side of UCU. It's another big block from Ian. Ball is kept alive. Oh, good play.
By Ogusul there.
Oh, it's an error. It's an error from Nixon.
So you saw what I meant about Ogusul picking that ball with one hand. He could have reached with both hands. So that's what ended up forcing Odome to set that ball, because he just went in sort of like just put it his one hand there. And KVC will get a point for that.
Yes, and I think Ogsul needs to psych up and know that he has to be there and concentrate and play, because his team would need him to get in those passes. There are free balls coming to him, but they're not being well passed, as we saw even in the first set as well.
Kavc's saving strategy of just looking out for Mark and picking him out there is quite working. They're giving him pressure there. Even as he goes to attack, they know he go to their diagonal. You can clearly see where that libero was sitting comfortable to say, you know what, I'm waiting for you. And it pays off, and they look for him again. And the setter's going to go back to him, and he tries a dump and goes over the line there.
Yes, and the setter is looking for him because he knows it's Crispas blocking him, a setter as well. So he's giving him that ball because he knows he has a low block on the line. But as you know, his strength is the diagonal, so maybe he feels he can still force that ball back to 5. It's another service going after him. The setter gives it to him again.
And you see what I meant by them sitting for him on that diagonal to say, you know what, let's choose a zone to have him attack to so that we can defend it.
Yes, and now he's able to go through because Christopher had to go with Ian in the middle, so that allows Mark to have. You can see that Christopher was delayed a little bit waiting for Ian as well, so that gives Mark a chance to side out.
7-all is the score right now. Thank you for joining us. We are in the second set, even as KVC leaves. Indra goes clever there with the dump, and it goes out.
That was struggling with free balls. Like they're not playing their free balls quite well. You can see that's he could have just made a touch backwards, but he sends it over, and that ball is just out.
They're flat-footed in terms of their defense. So if you're flat-footed and you're expecting a big swing and someone dumps, it's hard to then change and get on the balls of the feet to move for that ball. Off system again, you will give it to a Chris. They're using Crispas right now, and Crispas should just use that defensive blocking strategy instead of trying to get staff blocks right there.
Yes, and that is a beautiful swing from Opus. I think it's the first time I'm seeing Opus really coming in very hard and getting a clean swing, a clean point for his team. Even in the first set, we didn't see that from him. I think that could psych him up as well. And UCU needs to push to see how to get this set. That is a service error from Ian. I think he decides to risk it, but he doesn't quite get it.
He's looking too hard for Ayo right there, and he ends up overcooking it.
Good pick from Mark. The setter goes to Opus again, taking advantage of Crispas once more, and he gets that point as well. I think those balls will continue to go to 4, and he hasn't even thought about Ellie at all because he knows the block is not very high for Opus at the moment.
It's as good as there is no block as well. From where we are, we can see his hands are not going over the antenna. You're there, and that ball comes through to the side of UCU, even as that block is porous, and they didn't manage to seal that seam. So the game right now is going side-to-side game. We haven't seen any blocks in the set, any save aces, which is what can really make a team, or any defense that turns out into good transition. So both these teams should start maybe thinking about those aces to come through as well.
Yes, but you can see another lousy pass coming in from Ogusul there, and the setter tries to keep it on their side, but unfortunately that ball just goes out. KVC now leading by 2 points as well.
Pass by Opus, and Ellie just dumps the ball. Ellie so far, funny enough, is the middle, something that we really see. If we had states, I'm really sure he is leading in the scoreboard of UCU.
Yes, in the scoring right now in this game. Yeah, he's made so many points. That's a good serve from Opus. Ball to Bernard, and he's able to just get that slight touch and get that point, and KVC back in the lead once more.
I like that the setters are really trusting all the combinations when it comes to KVC. He's setting for both the middles. They're not scoring well today, but he's still saying, you know what, I want to keep them guessing to say where is the set gonna go to.
Yes, Ellie once more coming in with that score and giving UCU a side out as well.
For me, the matchup is not really balancing. Bernard versus Ellie. I know he's really improved, we said it, but however, matching up with Ellie, I don't think he really it's balancing.
I think it is because Ian is a slightly more lethal middle player in attack than Ellie, although we are not seeing it now, but I think based off of I don't want to say history or what we know about Ian, he's more swift in the middle than Ellie slightly. So I think maybe the coach is choosing to match him with Christopher there to see how to counter Ian. I think because of being off for an injury for some time during this season as well, I think that brought his game a little bit down. But he is there, and take a look at that. That is what I am talking about now. That is the difference that Ian brings. So the coach has to match it up that way. You can see he's very quick on that attack.
Yes, he's very quick. He needs to then broaden his jump because he almost went over there. And we've seen how many injuries can happen in that regard. And then
good play
has right there from the libero from KVC, and the scores are level. KVC has lost that lead as well. The pass hasn't been really so swift, but also the side outs, even as the setter has been trying to run all combinations and distribute that ball to everyone. The setter sends the ball far off right there, losing control and setting that ball. I also see him as if he's having his back fall backward, where you can literally tell that he wants to set that ball, a back set on that ball to position to a double sub. Coming in, was it a double sub?
Yes,
or just
it was one. It's just Onapa that has come. I think it's a good idea to bring in Onapa now because he brings in the heat of the swings and the attack as well. So that could be an advantage for him. That's Crispus coming in hard. A ball is kept alive. The setter goes to Onapa. Little bit of a struggle there. I think that the set was a little bit low for him, but he's able to side out and see how to get it.
Ian looking for a point, an extra point, I call it, from the referee, and doesn't manage to get it. So I think I would say in this game, head-to-head, UCU should be looking better, but they do feel like they're struggling.
Yes, and there goes another error from UCU side, from Mark. I think that was a center line violation from him once again. But you can see the passing for UCU is really not very good at this moment. You can see they are struggling so much on the passing, and the setter is no longer even setting overhead. He's trying to use the dig.
He's trying to use what he can
from
get.
Onapa, but it's an error.
Yep, it's an error. It goes out there.
I think he's choosing the jump serve to maybe get his arm warm for the swinging, because he doesn't usually go for the jump service.
Oh my goodness, the ball is caught.
Yeah, that ball seems to be very much on court.
The ball is on court. Wow. Anyway, we see what other people don't see here. And UCU have managed to get themselves back on the lead. I think somebody did go out of bounds there in trying to side out that ball. But that's unfortunate right there. So basically, Shamira, Onapa yesterday was also serving a jump.
Oh, I think maybe he just started to get it in because he's been a float server. Yeah, but I think he's working on it as well. But that's a good thing from him, and that is what the difference he's bringing on that Smith hasn't been bringing, the backcourt attack.
Yes,
for KVC.
Yes. He will attack front court. He will attack even better in backcourt, which is a plus for KVC. But also UCU right now have Opus and an ace right there from
Indra. Yeah, good service from him. I think it's a bit lucky as well with that net touch as the ball came to the side of UCU. And I always wonder who should play that ball that lands in that position coming from the service.
The setter. I gladly say the setter. I knew that ball was gonna go to Ian because Odome has got Opus in front, who on front row left side, who he hasn't been giving a ball, but also Nixon, who hasn't been doing well on that backcourt. Timeout. Deo calls. Coach Deo. Ubekon court and Endra still on the service box, but also UCU still leading. I must say, Shamira, for me, it feels like this season teams are a bit way complacent and they then tend to lose games because of that, because they will go in thinking, oh, we've won this game before even playing that game.
Yes, and that is what is, and we've seen that so much with UCU, but there goes a very big swing from Opus.
Crispas had done a good job managing to touch all those balls. However, this time around, the middle player stayed, and that's how Opus used that opportunity.
Yes, and it was really a good swing in a crucial time, because UC is chasing and they're trying to close that gap. And now Endra makes an error on attack.
Ayo, not Endra.
Ayo makes an error on attack.
He tends to struggle with balls that are off the net. So I would have thought that ball would have gone to Onapa, because Onapa has been put in there to try and assist in those side outs, and he's done a great job.
And there goes a service error from Ian. And I think that's the second service error from him in this set, and that's the second rotation of him to go and serve. And he's still not getting it right.
Yeah, Ian is a bit on the quieter side. He's had maybe 2 or 3 swings, no block.
Sorry, guys.
Difference for UCU right now, because Ian seems to be a little down. But that's a good touch there from Opus. Big swing again from Opus, and Endra just reads that way. Onapa comes in with a dump.
Too many errors, probably because of loss of focus there from UCU, but good focus by KVC. Good defenses there from the backcourt. That swing was really looked so good, but it did come down. So KVC today looking like they really want to fight to the end. They really their focus is high up there.
Yes, and Matthew now coming in to serve. He goes after Ogusul. Opus again. Big swing from him. I think Opus is now really getting the swings in, and it's come at a crucial time now. So he needs to just continue to play that way. And the setter is now looking for him, giving him those balls.
I'm also wondering though why Matthew, the service strategy for KVC to save Mark has really been working. It's one unit that has been working, but Matthew has come in as a substitute there. You know, for what I don't know if for defense or for save, but giving Ogusul that ball, not with speed, but literally just giving it to him as a freebie. I think he's not helping the team. Ayo gets a dump there on Odom, who was flat-footed.
I think Matthew is it's being made as a service substitution because he comes in for the middle player to serve, and usually that is a service substitution.
KVC almost close to sealing the second set as they lead 23-19, and coach UCU substitutes the setter Odome out, and
the big serve to Mark Omar. Wonderful block from Bernard at a very crucial moment, giving KVC that a set point. Beautiful play from him. He waits for Eli on that one. Take a look at that commitment. He jumps at the right time, but it seems to also be sort of an error from Eli as well.
Yeah. Yes, it's an error, but you also want to say, you know what, his hands were right there where the ball was, so he could have touched it. But however, if Eli had been just on the bend, he still could have blocked it. And we have KVC have themselves 5 set points.
Yes, and UCU has been forced to call a second timeout. I think that was an error from Eli, but you can see the hands were also there for Bernard. He had seen him choosing to go to 5, and he was just there waiting for him. And now KVC can get this 1 point. As I see now, the momentum that they are having.
I agree as well.
That point.
I agree. They have Onapa on court who has come in. Even yesterday when he came in, he comes in focused. He comes in not the Onapa. We know who's going to swing at every ball, but he comes in varying those attacks. And we've seen here he's had a couple of dumps. You know, he's supportive. And by the way, I hope you noticed, Shamira, that he's one with the captain's armband this year. So that could be, it could mean a lot for him. It could be the game changer for Onapa right now.
Yes, and again, ball goes to Opus. Big swing from him, and he gets that one. But I think if UCU gets Opus going as they are now, it reduces the pressure on Mark as well, and it gives him that hope that he's having someone else to help him on the outside in scoring. And we haven't seen any ball going to Nixon this set. It was just like the first 2 balls in the earliest points, but now we haven't seen any ball going to him. Big swing there from Ayo, and KVC makes it 2-0 in the sets. And UCU looking a little bit shaky right now. KVC just enjoying this set and taking it away quickly.
Shamira, the simple things in volleyball will win you games, I really should say. You see how Bernard has been given balls, and he's been making those small dumps that are meaningless, yet they are scoring points. So if you noticed on that last ball, Eli literally had to stay with Bernard, but also Eli literally had to stay because there was Onapa on the left side. So for me, that's clever of Crispus of knowing what to do in terms of tricking the block. And Ayo did choose that space where Eli left unblocked.
Yes, But of course, we are going in for the third set, and I have nothing to say. I can't say it could go 5 sets. I can't say UCU could take a set and come back, because we don't see that energy coming in from them. But I think we just have to wait and see how it will go.
That's true. I'm also at that point as well, where I'm like, I'm not sure if KBC will do it, but they do look like they are hungry for it. They do look like they are applying themselves in every aspect. Meanwhile, UCU is also today looking a bit low. We've got a few players quite on, and the rest of the players heads down as well. So let's see what happens with the next set. Welcome this evening. Thank you for joining us. KFC in red and UCU in blue. The set scores are 2-0 in favor of KFC. KFC, who have seen didn't have it right most of their games, but this weekend has been a good weekend for them. They are really, you can tell there's a unity within the team. You can tell they are covering for each other, and that is seems to be really paying off. Onapa has started in this set. And, a block right there from Endra. So I think for me, Shamira, KVC starting this way is a big advantage, and they've really set well right there to make the setter receive that ball. And Nixon sends another ball out there, a ball that he really should have just easily taken over, because that was like just let it down.
Oh, and we see UCU. Adome is starting out for this game, really. They are choosing Jonathan. Error from Opus, and that's 4-0 now. But you know, I don't agree sometimes with substitutions coaches make. I think if you took out the setter in the previous set, your first setter, I think it's better you again bring them back in this following set, because you gave them that time. Maybe they've sat down and thought about it, and they could still come back and play. I think that would be the best option to have right now.
Yeah, I'm kind of not sure from where I am if we're seeing properly or not, but for me, I feel like maybe Nixon would have been the first person to try and have out in terms of the numbers and his contribution, overall contribution.
Yes, I think they could bring Kevin in as well and try and give him that chance to play. But I still think the setter substitution shouldn't have been there for this set, because there's a set down and they need Adome to come in and play with the block and give them that chance.
And normally the UCU that we know also at times has mindset issues where they have to adjust to a setter.
Yes.
So by the time they start to adjust to this setter, the setter would have gone, because this is the deciding set. Yeah, maybe it makes sense what you're saying, but let's see how it goes for them here, even as we still see that the players are being a bit complacent.
Yes. And I think UCU came into this game thinking they could go away with it. Big swing from Ian there through the middle, and finally UCU gets that break to give themselves a fighting chance here.
Bernard beats himself for that one because he had a slight touch on it, and the libero was placed right, but that touch on Bernard, the middle, kind of baited it and caused the libero not to pick it up. And he gets it right.
Yes, a big swing from him. Wonderful play, and he seems to be enjoying getting those sets, and this is what is giving KVC that impressive play, because they're giving everyone a ball, giving them a chance to get that point, and getting those middles going, especially Bernard, is just impressive from their side.
It's impressive, but it's lovely. I mean, he's a young man who's right now at school, and he deserves it if he's perform well. And Christopher has a touch right there, and go on the hands right there. I said it yesterday that Andrea, if you're gonna put your hands up there, you have to completely put your hands, saying I am blocking, not just putting your hands up, because he will use those hands.
Yes, and now Bernard again bringing in the heat of the service. He's been serving well for his team, and now of course starting to get in those points on attack. I think that builds him on as well. To Mark, take a look at that set. It's a bit slower for Mark compared to what Adome has been giving him, and he's struggling to adjust. It's very early, but then you can see he just sends that ball out.
You've read it very well, Shamira. I also was thinking about that, to say I hope the setter is going to release it quick, but the minute I saw it going, having that loop, I knew that Mark was not going to contact it well, and there it was an unforced error. But KVC doing everything right, looking for Mark in that position, and this has led to UCU calling for that timeout, even as they trailed by 6 points.
Yes, and you can see Obusul there in the timeout. I think he seems to sort of want Hussein to also come, because he seems to be pointing at the guys on the bench, talking to his coach as well. And he's gone out. He's now brought in Oba to come and now play as well. And now substitution being made for Mark, bringing on Kevin.
That's interesting.
It's interesting what UCU is doing here.
It's interesting. I thought he was actually coming in for Nixon, because Mark, despite him not siding out right now, has had better contribution than Nixon, who we can literally count in all the sets how many balls he has attacked. But anyway, that's what the coach might be seeing things differently. Maybe the coach is thinking they are not really. A block there from Endra. He's enjoying himself. His height there quite short, but he easily gets. For me, that's why I keep telling you that it should have been Nixon just going out and
yes, and Mark staying on and Kevin coming into
his position. Yes. 8-1.
And UCU seems to have just given up on this really with that type of play once again. And take a look at that point. Kavc is 7 points away. Onapa is on court, and that's a good play there from Kevin. A little bit of a struggle, but he's able to get that point. But the points are, Kavc is leading by 6 points right now, and they have 2 sets already. So maybe UCU needs to think about it.
Yeah, Kavc also has to stay up, because I felt like this point they could have transitioned and scored from it, but there was a bit of complacency even in their kind of defense. So I hope they do see that they have a potential of just getting those sets. Onapa on the big swing just above Eli Red.
Ace service from Onapa off that jump serve. Take a look at that. Like Kavc is just enjoying now. They're enjoying themselves in this game. And now UCU is not enjoying. They just seem to be playing to finish and just go home.
I'm not sure right now, at least it's half convincing that Kavc really is going to wrap this up. They are going up there. They are doing everything correctly.
But then what does that say about UCU? Kavc taking this 3, if Kavc takes this away 3-0.
It says teams should play games on court. It says teams should not look at how a team has been performing. They should focus. You should look at how a team has been performing in terms of play, not look at it to judge them. So to me, it talks about a team that has been really judging Kavc and not scouting. And then Kavc comes, they're fired up, they want to win. You are not able to switch your minds, because we can see even their mental strength is refusing to come up.
And now Nixon is also out and Omo is now on. So literally, what does I feel that says we are done. Let's just play and go.
Yes.
And I would want to understand from the UCU coach what he thinks about their play today, as well as how did they prepare to come for this game? What was their plan? Have they executed it?
Yeah.
I would want to know such from
the
UCU.
swing is coming in easily. Ayo getting a swing there. He's just up and down on the ball. And there's no one,
there's
can
no
see, yes,
yeah,
that Ayo he was preparing to swing, but he says, you know what, I'm not going to block him.
And it's an ace serve from Endra, and now Kavc leading by 10 points here.
Yeah. For me, this is one of the things that I know the crowd didn't expect right there, but Kavc is really applying it themselves. They're really serving well. They're picking their points well. And meanwhile, I'm not sure about UCU. We just continue to watch and see if they can get that needed side out.
Yes, and this is another great serve from Endra. Ball goes to Kevin, big swing. And this is what you've been talking about. He should have come in earlier for Nixon, and then they maintain Adome and Omara, and that would give them a chance. They just gave up on this game. And you can see he still has a chance. He's still feeling like he could fight it out, but he can't do it alone again, because even Ogusul has gone out. He didn't fail to close. I think he just went out because of the mind as well, the mental side of it.
Yes, you do need players on court, Shamira, that are going to fight. You can see these guys, just look at the way they're tapping each other. We've already said it, that Eli was on in this game. You can see you want a team to lose convincingly, not a team to lose having given it away. But Kavc, they've already gotten their players heated up. Ayo is getting those side outs, left, right, and center. People are serving well. And look at their blocks as well.
Oh, that's an error from Ayo. I think he wanted to send it back, but it was already quite low, and he just touches the belt and stays on his side. But I think that won't hurt him so much, because look at that points lead. It's something he can get over quickly and go on.
They've worked so hard for it. They've worked so well. They've had good side out, so he can really shake that point off there. Early on the service box, he chooses the libero who we've seen serving well, and Onapa
He's just enjoying himself. That is what he plays. That he's so good on that backcourt, and the setter doesn't think twice. He just puts it up, and with the points that they are having right now, he doesn't even need to think about a dump. He just takes a big swing, and he's getting those points.
But look at his face; it looks so calm. You know, good service there, another good service, and
it's an error from Opus, and Kavc just pushing, and they are close to actually taking this away. 16, and UCU is on 5, and now Adome has come back on court for UCU.
I would have said UCU would have come back if there was, I would see a different mindset, but I'm not seeing that right now. Out ball it is right there for the young men. Edmund Odome on the service box. Let's see if he can serve for his team to get a side out and reduce on that 10-point gap. Picks up, it's a bad pass. Onapa picks it up, and
he tries to go. Ayo tries to go on a big swing there, but that's an error. And I mentioned he's not good well so much on those ones because they have a big gap, and if he makes one, it's easy for him to get a side out on the next one, because he knows that he's in a comfortable position. And still that error coming in from Hussein. Just Kavc is just comfortable right now. They don't need to be on any sort of pressure.
Yeah, the rate of errors of UCU can actually win them the game, even as we've seen, Shamil.
Yes, UCU has made so many errors, so many service errors, attack errors as well, and they are not passing very well. It's a good play there from. It's an error. That ball doesn't. Let's take a look again. I felt like the ball came over to this side, but it doesn't. It's actually an error from Opus as well.
But before that, there was another error. He had crossed the halfway mark line.
Yes. Another block there from Kavc. Free ball. I don't know. I saw that ball could go to Onapa behind. Oh, the setter chooses Andra, and he is blocked. I felt like that ball could have gone to Onapa behind, because right now it's his moment. He needs to get those hits. He could finish that game quicker than Kavc thinks that they could do it.
I think the setter wanted really not to be obvious, because, I mean, they are saying Kavc has always been known for setting for Onapa just to relieve them. But in this moment, I don't think you need to be doing all that when you actually have Onapa.
Yes, I feel like the setter right now doesn't even need to think. He just needs to give him those balls. Right now, he's on the front court.
And he's trying to connect that one, and he's still Onapa again.
And he's just there waiting. Yes, that is good. And he gets that point, immediate side out, and they are 19. And I don't know what UCU is thinking right now, because they are not getting the passes, they are not getting blocks, they are not. They seem to
this one is in the back for Kavc. Honestly, for me, I would just love to see them push. I would love to see them maybe finish somewhere over 15, somewhere there, even as they keep fighting for it instead of just giving up. But Kavc, at least I see a Kavc who are determined to wrap this up. So let's see how Ian save. He's normally a saver who giving his all, but I don't think when it comes to the side of UCU, the block is good. However, I'm not sure if they have transition. If you can't go to anywhere, will you go? Same thing again. We see that young man not going to Onapa, but choosing to go into the middle there.
Looking for Oumo behind. The setter now choosing Onapa. It's a little bit short, but Onapa is very quick, and he gets that swing. And Kevin is so late on that block. I think he didn't quite expect it, and I don't know, he has someone there, but he chooses to start with the middle with Christopher here. But we haven't seen the setter giving Christopher or he gave him a ball, but he didn't get a point. But I'm saying we haven't seen him so much for Kevin to now starting with him.
Yes, I get what you mean to get those, to say why would he be there to get those assists.
Yes. Now Kevin tries to send a dump. Ball is up. The libero chooses to go to Endra. It's a dump. Kevin comes in hard, and that is an error from him again. Kavc now sitting at 21 points and 2 sets to nothing for UCU.
Clumsy, lots of clumsy play from UCU, starting with the pass. The players are not going down to get under the ball. So Odome, both the setters have had to be everywhere, and they're not having to get that option of choosing where to set. You've seen most of the balls right now, they've had to just throw them to that zone 4 where we have Kevin, and unlike Mark, Kevin is not able to channel those quick sets faster there, so we've seen him going out. But however, they get that free point from Onapa even as he jumps and sends it outside, but comfortably they're leading. Kavc is leading.
And Oumo goes into serve, and that's a service error from him, and he doesn't even get near the court. Look at UCU, they're just done with this game, and Kavc is done as well, but they are done knowing that they are taking the game.
Yeah, that substitution is the one that can tell you that they're done. They're really done. So yeah, Shamira, I'm also thinking in my mind, honestly, as a coach, what would stop me from subbing if we're 22-12? What would really stop me?
There's nothing. It is now a chance for you to just give players to play.
So Kavc needs 3 points, and I'm still failing to calculate how many UCU needs because there are way too many. Mark goes
UCU needs 10 points to catch up, but now Mark coming back on, and it defeats the meaning of their earlier substitution.
I still think it's a huge task. They might come on, but that 10-point gap is a huge task, especially if he's going to save to the libero. And the ball goes to Onapa there.
I think you guys are looking at Onapa to see if he violated that line, but I don't think he quite violated it. I think he stayed on the line. Let's take a look again and see. I think he quite stayed. He stayed on the line.
Stayed on the line.
Actually go onto the other side. He stayed on the line.
Whole foot, remember, Shamira.
Yes,
so because his foot was half.
Yes,
means he was
still on his side. Yeah, he stayed on his side. And Kavc now looking for 2 points to take this game. UCU still, we see Mark was speaking to the referee there. And I think it quite disorganized the UCU side, seeing Onapa moving on that line. But he didn't violate the center line.
He was disciplined. His feet really managed to go well. We get a side out there. Nope, we get a block touch. Nicely picked. Onapa has had quite very good digs today. And Bernard sends it out there after the setter had tried to dump. Right now, Kavc are allowed to try everything and anything, Shamira, until they just get those 2 points. And they may even get them from UCU errors.
Yes, and I think Bernard should have just gone with a block there rather than a swing on that ball.
I told you, Shamira, Kavc can even score from errors, and that's a net violation. Count for yourself. Those are 11 set points.
Yes, that Kavc has, and now it's a match point for Kavc. They can take this away. They have a big chance to go with it. The Pools sending that over as a free ball. The setter goes to Matthew, and he's blocked, but that is kept alive. Endra jumping again, sending a free ball. Mark coming in from the backcourt and getting that point, that side out, saving first match point saved for UCU.
But you are right, Shamira, to say that substitution, you kept saying it time and again that you felt like Mark O'Mara needed to stay on court. And
yes,
in a few points, look at the difference that he has made.
Onapa, big swing. that ball comes back, and I feel like it could go to Onapa again, and it does. And it's a free ball once more. Back coming in with the dump. Ball going to Onapa again. Another block, and this is a better chance now. Oh, another chance. But that is an error from Bernard. I think he went for that ball from the set. I think he shouldn't have. You can see the slight frustration from Eddie for Bernard going to set that ball. Onapa is turning back to the blockers.
Yes, he is turning back. But however, the other idea that one of the things that I've noted is that Onapa is not as strong when he's coming from 4. He's not as lethal. So if you just put the blocks up there, so instead of him opening on the outside, I would love to believe he's one of those players who just needs to open straight on the line, such that he has that ability to go on the line for him. Why I'm saying that? Because when he attacks, he's used to his hand to going across the body. That way he goes diagonal from his right side. So it means when he's this side, for him to go on his strength in terms of his hand, he has to go down the line. So the way he's going out, he's forcing to go diagonal where he's not really strong.
Yes, and so I think maybe he you can see the swing is just turning back to the line, to the block, and that is why the UC is getting those block touches. But
for me as well, it's the setter also. He's kind of forgotten that he is Matthew on the right side. I mean, Matthew.
Ball goes to Matthew. It's a big swing from him, and Kavc takes it away 3-0. Wonderful play from them, and it's a surprising game. This is a surprising result, and of course we are going to have to go and we want to hear from the UCU coach mostly to understand what was their strategy today, what is the plan they had coming into this game, and the result they're having, does it really
reflect what they
and the substitutions that were made, we questioned them so much. I think
please do join me even as I go to talk to the coach of UCU and find out what Shamira has asked me to do there. But big congratulations to UCU right there.
To Kavc.
To Kavc. Wow.
Yes, and
I will tell them.
Hard luck on the lows. I would love to know, Coach, coming into the game today, what was your strategy? I would love to know, Coach, coming into the game today, what was your strategy? Do you feel like you met what you had practiced for, even coming into this game? Did your boys deliver? What do you feel? What's your take on the game today?
Thanks, Coach Memza. One is we are disappointed because it's not what we had come to play. The boys didn't play what we've been practicing for, and it's what we are asking ourselves. Because from the onset, we saw the body language was very poor, negative. There is no fight. There was no grit. No one was giving it in. Had very many service errors. Our block was disjointed. There was no connection between the setter and the attackers, and they're quarreling amongst themselves. So it's what you are going to find out what could have been the issue.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Coach. But do you feel like it was the whole team, or there are some players who really look like they were on for the game, or you're just completely thinking maybe the whole strategy didn't go right for all the players in your team as well?
There are key players whose performance is questionable. I'll not name them on air, but I will not say that the whole team. So because of that, it drained the energy of the others, the teammates. And that's why they also came down. Because if I am trying to push and you, Memza, you'll drain me if we're on the same team. So I'll not say the whole team, but because there are some key players whose performance is questionable and something that I want to look into and find out the reason for the lackadaisical performance that has just taken place. Because we've had a 2-week break, which we've been utilizing, we've been training, and it's not what has happened. It's not a quarter of what we had expected to play. It's not. I'm really disappointed, very big disappointment with the team.
Tough luck about that, Coach. I'm hoping for the best in future, Coach. See, Onapa Joffrey, congratulations, Onapa, on your team collecting maximum efforts. After yesterday, we saw you collecting maximum points, and again today, you have really shown that your team is still as strong. Please do inform the viewers what was your strategy going into the game today, and do you feel it worked even as you scooped all the points? What's your take of how your team performed?
What we did best was to realize the weak point. Then we kept on serving there, and we formulated our defense well, and we were able to break after every service from our point. We were breaking it, so we kept on going like that since there's something.
So going into the next games where you still have some more matches and you want to pick up maximum points to cover up for the other games that you played, what's the way forward right now, having maximized today?
I think we need to just gather together and train as a team, put some good effort, because what we have done is still little compared to last season. So we need to put on more effort and training.
Thank you, Onapa, and congratulations for today, and all the best in your next encounters.
Yes, and that is it from the captain of Kavc, and also listened in from the UCU coach. And we realized he was seeing similar things that we saw here, that the play, the body language of the players. But congratulations to Kavc. They've really got a well-deserved win here. They put in the fight and they took it away. But I think UCU needs to go back and think about it, because those are two crucial losses, the loss against KCC and now against Kavc. There is a lot to work on for them. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be with you on Wednesday this coming week at MTN Arena Lugogo. So please stay on, be with us, and thank you for those that have been with us today. And this commentary for this last game, I was here with Coach Memory, and it's been wonderful to be with you since morning, of course, with all those other people that you had. And I'll see you on Wednesday, guys. Have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of the weekend.